Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Rabbi Isai. We're holding 4 lines from the bottom of Daf Tzadik Zayin on the base. I want to remind the Olam that before we started Chullin had a name that it's one of the hardest Masechtas in Shas. I'll remind you that it's one of the easiest Masechtas in Shas. And yes, we have some dapim that are, I'm not going to call them difficult, but some of the ideas and the concepts are a little less agadata. But the whole last week, every daf, we had a half daf agadata, half inyanim, half daf this. We're basically finishing up a sugya. We have like 3 daf of Isser V'Heter, of Bato B'Shishim, Nois and Tam, but it's easy stuff. It's nothing to get excited about. So, Beitza B'Shishim Ve'im Beitza Min HaMinyan. You have an egg. So we're talking about Bittul B'Roiv. You have one egg that's a no gooder egg, and you have 60 good eggs, so they overcome the bad egg, and therefore you're allowed to eat the whole thing. Well, we're going to see a fascinating thing in the sugya later on, is that when it comes to eggs are different than everything else. When it comes to eggs, you might need 61 eggs to 1 bad egg. 61 good eggs to 1 bad egg. Why is an egg different? We'll see. What's going on here? You have an egg, like in this picture. Why do you need 60 good eggs to overcome that 1 egg? Because the egg imparts a flavor. Comes out. Whatever's inside the egg is going to come out. Now we know when you make a chullin and you put an egg in the chullin, the egg receives a flavor. It receives the color. It turns brown. It might, I don't know, I never really tasted chullin in it, but it receives. But who says that it goes out from the egg, from the treif egg, out into the other eggs? There's a saying, a famous saying. If you want to tell your wife that her chullin is terrible, that her soup is nothing, what are you going to tell her? You say, your soup tastes like egg water. Meaning, if you cooked a bunch of eggs and there's water, there's nothing, no flavor in that water. Your food is so bad, it's like egg water. That's the saying people say. We're talking about an egg that has a little chicken inside. Oh, check this out. This is not AI, this is real. Okay? So since it has a little chicken inside, that little chicken is an avela. You can't check it. It's not checked, so it's an avela. It imparts flavor. The meat does impart flavor. Yeah, you're right. People say that eggs don't impart flavor. They don't. But if the egg has a little chicken inside, and that little chicken is an avela, that meat gives flavor to the rest of the tafshel, and now I have to be mevatel with 60. Avol tmei eloi. But what about an egg that comes from a eagle, a tomei bird? No. In other words, if the egg is that of an eagle without a little eagle inside of it, just an egg. If you cooked tahar eggs from a chicken together with eggs from a eagle, if the tummy eggs give off a flavor, the whole batch is also. So you see that eggs of a tummy bird do give off a flavor even without a chicken inside, without a bird inside. You're talking about an eagle egg that has a baby eagle in it, and that's why it's also. So why do you call it a tummy egg if it has a little bird inside it? We're not talking about an eagle with a baby eagle inside. We're talking about a chicken egg, and it has a chicken inside it. and it's called Tomei because it has a chicken inside, and a dead baby chicken is Tomei, is an Avela. As the Gemara doesn't fit in, it says right away in the Seifa, it says in the end, this case, that if you cook eggs and you find a chick inside of one, so now we're talking about a case that you found the chick inside. Before you weren't talking about that case. Yes, but if it gives a flavor, it's also. So if in the Seifa we came up with a new case of a egg that has a little chicken inside, obviously the first case is not talking about an egg that has a chicken inside. So why did you tell me it's talking about a case that has a chicken inside? Says Gemara, both cases are one and the same. There's no Reisha in Seifa. The Seifa is just a continuation of the Reisha to explain what the Reisha is. It's coming to explain. If you cook the tar eggs with the tmeim eggs, if the tummy eggs impart flavor, the whole batch is also. What's the case? You cook them, you opened one up, and you're mortified and horrified. You found a little cooked chicken, tiny little chicken, disgusting. So that makes the entire batch treif. And it also makes sense because if you think that the Reish is talking about that there's no chicken side, it's talking about a tummy bird, let's say. So what's the chiddush? If a chicken, if a egg without a chicken side is tummy, from a tummy bird, so certainly an egg that has a developed chicken side and is dead, it's the nevel, of course, it ruins the food. No, that's not a great raya. The same is only coming to explain the reisha. You shouldn't say that the reisha is talking about that it has a little chicken inside, but if it doesn't have, then even an egg of an eagle would be mutter. That's why I do say in the sefer it has a chicken. So I can say that the pshat, there's no way to force me in the pshat. If there's no way to force me in the pshat, I don't have a right from here. Don't say that we're talking about in the reisha just an egg from an eagle that doesn't have a little chicken inside. I'm sorry, the reisha is boifrech, it has a little chick. But if it's a tummy egg that doesn't have a little chick, it would be mutter. On a seifa, that's why it does say in the seifa that is boifrech that it has a little chick. So don't tell me the reisha has a chick. No, the reisha does not have a chick. And even so, it is asur. Zogt the Gemara. Story. Ahu kizeiso tarbo the nofal bidikula de bisra. Let me just make sure. Here, we can use from yesterday, which I didn't show in the English here. You have a piece of fat. Here's a piece of fat that fell into. This was just yesterday shared that you use the pot to make it 60. Okay. But it's kishmak anyways. Ahu kizeiso the tarbo. There's a kazayis of fat. The nofal b'dikula, the bisra fell into a pot of meat, like you see in this picture. So Ravasi the shari b'may the bala dikula. So Ravasi wanted to use the 60 times the fat, and he wanted to also include what went into the walls of the pot. In other words, how big is this piece of fat? 1 zayis. Okay. Now, we started off in the pot with 60 kezesim of meat and gravy and everything, but 5 kezesim went into the walls of the pot. 5 out of the 60 went into the walls. So how many kezesim do you have left in the pot? 55. 55 kezesim is not enough to overcome that one piece of chaylev, of terrible osur fat that fell into the pot. You need 60. Oh, but if I use the 5 that are in the walls, that were absorbed in the walls, then I'll have 60. So Rav Asi wanted to say I can use those 5. So Rav Asi sure b'may debala dikula. Amar le Rabbanan Rav Ashi. So Rabbanan said, it's Rav Asi, Rav Ashi. What about the actual piece of chaylev that's a kazayis now that fell into the pot? Wasn't it like 2 kazayis when it fell in? It also cooked up in there, and part of it went into the walls. So the issue is much greater. Maybe you need 110 or 120 kazayis. Why? Because the chaylev that fell in was 2 kazayis. Right now you found 1 kazayis because it cooked out. So Elamai. We're not going to go what you used to have kosher before, because then you have to say what you used to have osur before. Let's look at what we have right now. Right now you have 55 kazaysim kosher, 1 kazayis not kosher. You don't have enough kazaysim to overcome the non-kosher. Forget about what happened yesterday and how much went into the walls. That's what they told him. Only a half a shear fell into the pot. We know that in order for it to be awesome in the Raisa, l'chayra, right now, you need a full kazayis. Only half a kazayis went in. The Rabbanan would be a problem. Into a pot of meat. Savam Mar Baravashi, Mar, the son of Ravashi. The Sheir, we had him yesterday. The Sheir betlosim palgid zeisa. He wanted to use half of what you typically use. Usually, if you had a half a kazayis that fell in, you need 60 times that. So how many kazaysim you need? You need 60 half kazaysim, or 30 full kazaysim, for 1/2 of a kazayis of chaylev. You have 1 part iser, you need 60 parts mutter to overcome it. So you have a half a kazayis, you need 60 half kazaysim. But he wanted to use 30 half kazaysim. He wanted to be makel. So he says, half the regular amount. Ravashi was upset. Didn't I tell you Didn't I tell you not to put down the Rabbanan and say, oh, it's only the Rabbanan. You don't need 60, 30 is enough. It's not nice. If you say 60 you need for the right, so you need 60 for the Rabbanan. And another thing, you're thinking that a half a kazayis is the Rabbanan, and I'm telling you a half a kazayis is the Iraisa, according to Rabbi Yochanan. Why? Because it's a half a shir, a half a iser. Half a kazayis of chaylev is the Iraisa, Zog the Gemara. Omer Rav Shemen bar Abba, Omer Rav Idi bar Gershon. I love this. It's great for Magid Yishurim. It's terrible for people that are taking these tests bal peh. Omer Rav Shemen bar Abba. Rav Shemen, the son of Rav Abba, said, Omar Rav Idi, he said that Rav Idi said, bar Gershon, he was the son of Gershon. Omar Levi bar Prata, he said in the name of Levi, the son of Prata, Omar Rav Nachum, Omar Rav Biroim, I'll give you 10,000 MDY points if you can repeat these names. I'll say it again. Omar Rav Shemen bar Abba, Omar Rav Idi bar Gershon, Omar Levi bar Prata, Omar Rav Nachum, Omar Rav Biryam, first I have to know how to say it. Mishum Zokin Echad. Rabbi Yaakov Shemei, and finally, what's his name? Rabbi Yaakov. The Benesi Omru, they said by the Nasi in the Beis Medrash, Beitza b'shishim asuro, b'shishim v'achas mutaris. If you have 1 bad egg, in order to be able to eat the whole food, even though 1 bad egg fell into the pot, you need 60 to overcome it. But it's not clear what he's saying. Do you need a total of 60 plus the 1 bad egg, which is a total of 61? Or do you need a total of 62? You need 61 good eggs and 1 bad egg to overcome the 1 bad egg. Let's see inside. Could you decipher this? Could you understand from his words? And the answer is you can't understand. Well, We'll see. Beitza b'shishim asura, b'shishim v'achas muteres. Omer Rav Zeir Rav Shem Barabo Reish Atomat Bogvul Heter. It seems like you're already coming to be matir, to be makel. Shari Shnei Gdoile Adorli Pirshus Adover. Two Gdoilim, they weren't able to figure this out. Rabbi Yaakov Ber Idi Rabbi Shmuel Bar Achmini, Tarvai Mishmei Rabbi Shmuel Levi Amri. A lot of names here. They said in the name of Rabbi Shmuel Levi, Beitzom B'shishim Asuro B'shishim V'achas Muteres. An egg, if you have 60 against it, is no good. If you have 61, it's okay. And they ask right away, is it 61? Is it 61 in addition to the one bad one? So total is 62 eggs. One bad egg, 61 good eggs, which is a pella. We always said batal b'shishim, 1, and 60 on the other side, not 61 on the other side. So to understand what's going on here, and we're basically done, but just to understand that the Shach brings from the Mechaber that there's a svar to say that eggs are different than everything else in the world. Why? Because if you ever go to the store, they sell large eggs and extra large eggs and small eggs. So all eggs are different shapes and different sizes. So if you're going to use 60, you might not be, let's say, the egg that fell in is an extra large egg, and you'll be using some of your eggs that you're using for the 60 are small eggs, so it's not really shishim. So what do they say? They said, and once you get to 60 good ones, add one more for good measure. It's only in eggs. There are those who say no. He also brings in the name of the Rambam, is because an egg is a beria. It's a full item. So because it's a full thing, it's a berry, you need one more. What's an nafkamina? Nafkamina, if your egg falls into many other eggs, then you could use the shachs thing, the original from the mechaber, that because it's eggs and they're all different shapes, add one egg. But what if, according to the mechaber, the egg fell into chont? No, one egg in a bunch of chont. Chont is easy to see that it's 60 times the size of this one egg because it's a different item. It's not eggs. It's not eggs versus egg. It's chont versus egg. And so all you don't need to do 61, 60. That's the nafkamina between the two svaras, the Rambam and the Mechaber. V'lo pashut. And they didn't come to a conclusion. Umar pashut lo mifshat. And you seem to be saying that it's 60, and all you need is 60. Sorry, that you need 61 to the 1. Itmar, Omer Chelbe, Omer Avuna. Beitza b'shishim v'hi asura, if the total is 61 eggs. 60 good, 1 no good. B'shishim v'achas v'hi muteres. But if it's 62 total, in other words, 61 good, 1 no good, it's muter. Fine. So it seems like this was before Chachamim, the Amoraim instituted the idea, the concept of batal b'shishim. That's a Rabbanan idea. Came later generation. Somebody wanted Rabbi Gamliel to be mevatel with 45, not 60, 45. So he says, how could I do it if my father wasn't mevatel with 47? He had 47 good eggs, 1 bad egg, and Rabbi didn't do it. Rabbi Gamliel bar Rebbe, the son of Rebbe didn't do it. So how could I do it for 45, which is less? Rabbi Shimon bar Rebbe. Rabbi Shimon, the son of Rebbe. So it went down now. My father didn't even do 45. The Tanoim didn't do 45. So how could I do 43 kosher and 1 treif? Later on, the institute has to be 60, not 43, not 45, not 47, 60. Or there's a shita even that says 100. which we're going to get to. Oh, I need 30 to be mevatel. 1 in 30. Time like shloishim, like shloishim sharina. Omer Rebbe Chanino Guzma. This guy comes and he says, look, he comes to Rebbe Chia, he says, I have 30, let's call them eggs, or 30 times the flesh, the meat in the chon, and 1 bad piece of chaylev. What should I do? So he says, you don't even have 30. In other words, you're wasting my time. Why did you come here to bother me? The share is 60. You're coming here for 30. Come on. Omer Rebbe Barabba, Omer Rebbe Shua ben Levi, Shua Kapara. Kol Yisurim Shabbat Torah B'Shishim. Oh, so finally we get to the thing, and this is all from the Sugi Rabbi side. So for the rest of Shas, when we say Batal B'Shishim, we're going to come back to this daf right over here, Perigid Anosha and Chullin Daf Tzadik Ches. This is where the source of all these halachas of Noisim Tam, and this is one of the main sugis. It says over here, 5 lines from the bottom of the Tzadik Ches Amud Aleph. The bottle in 60. I just want to show you a Rashi real quickly. It's in the middle line of the 3 lines, in the middle of the sentence. In other words, in the middle of the line of the middle line. Where I checked the V'yov Taima, Loyim Taima Loy Bottle. In other words, if you have 60 good, 1 no good, but you could taste the flavor in the 60 good. Says Rashi, Batal B'Shishim doesn't work here. It only works when I can't taste it, but if I can taste it, it doesn't work. What's the 60 business? It's 100. Okay, we paskin 60 is mevatel 1. But over here we have shita number 2, it's 100. What's pshat? Why does he say 60? He says 100. Says Gemara, we learn it out from the foreleg of a nazir. This foreleg, the front hand of an animal, the right side, goes to the kain. The rest of it goes to the Yisrael. But let's say if you cook this right hand together with the whole body, and it only goes to a kain, the right hand, that means part of the right hand, the flavor of the right hand, which is a matnas kuhuna, should go to the kain, went into the entire aisle, went into that whole ram that you saw sitting in the front seat with the seatbelt. The flavor went into everything. And the Torah says it's okay, the Yisrael could eat it. So we must say the pshat is because the whole ram is 60 times more than the foreleg, or 100 times more than foreleg. So that's how I have 2 shitas that say one says 60s batal bevatal and the other one says 100. We could continue if you want. I'll just explain that part. Why 60 and why 100? Because one counts all the bones in the foreleg. It's very bony, very little meat. And the other one doesn't count the bones, just the meat. So you're just counting meat versus the rest of the body of the animal. The rest of the body is 100 times the amount of meat in the foreleg. The whole bottom part of the foreleg doesn't have any meat at all. It's all bones and sinews. The top has a tiny piece. It's 100. So that's how I learn either 60 or 100. So let's see inside. 2 lines from the bottom. We learn it from the foreleg of the nazir. The chsiv, the lokach hakohen says Zreya b'sheila. Now, but the nazir gives, the chazah, the shaik, but he also gives the zraya, the foreleg. B'sheila. What does b'sheila mean? So b'sheila, you say b'sheila means cooked. V'tanya b'sheila daf tzadik chesam debeis ein b'sheila elo shleima. It means that it's whole. So Rashi says, I don't know what language this comes from, but there's a language that the word b'sheila means whole. Okay, this does have a mahalach. So here we go. Reb Shimon ben Yochai. We're not even going to finish this small lamed because tomorrow is a very small. Reb Shimon ben Yochai, how many were we holding? 46 minutes. We're good. So in 10 minutes, we should be finished. Be'ezer Hashem. Reb Shimon ben Yochai, ein b'sheila elo shenis bashlim ha'ayil. What does b'sheila mean? you cook the foreleg together with the entire ram. The kuli al mebadi ayil mebashalo. Everybody agrees, according to this pshat, that the foreleg is together with the whole animal. Just what's the machlokes marsavar mechatechla v'hodim mebashalo? Do you cut the leg, the foreleg, and then put it into the pot together with the whole goat? The shaila machlokes is: do you put the whole goat into the pot, and later after you cook it, you cut the foreleg off, or do you cut the foreleg off and then you put the foreleg into the pot together with the whole goat? Here we have a little video if you want to see. First, you put the foreleg in, and then you put the whole goat in, but it's in the same pot. In other words, everybody agrees it's in the same pot. Over here, you're putting the entire, with the forelegs and everything, into the pot. Put your hands in there, make sure they get burnt a little bit from the boiling water. Givalik. V'boisema. And another pshat is no. Everybody agrees that first you cut off the foreleg and then you cook it. In what pot do you cook the foreleg? Together with the goat, with the ram. Use two different. Here, let's see. We have a video. Shimon says it's in the same pot. Or it's in two separate pots. That's the machlokes. One pot? No, he pauses. No, other pot. Great. Oh. So stop right here. This mandama that we just saw, that you put the foreleg in one pot and the rest of the goat in the other pot, we're not going to learn anything from him because there's no bittul over here. The foreleg goes to the kohen and it's cooked in another pot. It's only a raya that we mevatel with 60 or mevatel by 100 if you cook the foreleg together with the goat. And who eats the rest of the goat? Yisrael. But it has a bunch of kohen meat in it. But that's only if you cook it in the same pot. Who says you cook it in the same pot? Well, the first pshat, everybody holds it goes in the same pot. The second pshat, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai holds it goes in the same pot, but one on the other man doesn't. So let's see inside. Yumar sover badi ayil mevashalo. Umar sover b'derech acheres mevashalo. Says Gemara Lishnik, I could learn out this chiddush of bittul baroi according to everybody because you're cooking the kohen's foreleg together with the ram in the same pot. I could only learn according to Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. So, what's the difference between 60 and 100? Why does this mandama say it's batal in 60 and this mandama says batal in 100? I got to use everything to figure out the bittul baroi. So when you're talking about a foreleg, how many forelegs does a typical ram have? 60 in his whole body. Take a look. That's the foreleg you give to the kohen, just straight up, not with the shoulder. Take a look what happens. Boom. The rest of the animal, 60 times that one. So from here I learned the musag of 60 to 1 ratio. I need 60 mutter to 1 aser. The other man, the Omer holds, it's 100. Why? Because I'm not using any bones, only the meaty part. Look at that. The blue is on top. The bottom doesn't have any meat at all. The mela, it's 1 to 100. Beautiful. You only use meat to meat. Ask the Gemara, how could I learn to the whole Torah the concept of batal b'shishim, batal b'100 from this roya, from this foreleg? This is a special heter that the Torah says I'm allowed to put the foreleg in the same pot as the whole animal that's going to be eaten by Yisrael. It's a special chiddush. The heter abba m'klal isur. What does that mean? And what does it come to exclude? Do not learn out from here to the rest of the Torah. Don't get nervous. Don't have a trauma. Min b'mino means meat and meat. It's the same item. Says Rabbi Yehuda, if I cook treif meat with kosher meat, you can have 1,000 times the kosher meat, 1,000 pounds of kosher meat, and 1 pound of non-kosher meat from the same animal, from the cow, let's say. Meat and meat, doesn't matter, meat and meat. It doesn't help. The 1,000 doesn't help. But the chiddush in the Torah over here is that by the Zraya does help. Even though the Zraya, the four-leg, is meat, the rest of the ram overcomes it and is mevatel it. How? 60, 100, but it's mevatel it. It's a special chiddush. Ask the Gemara, I don't understand. Isn't this a great raya? From here, Rabbi Yehuda says that min b'mino lo yibatel. When you have meat, 1 pound of meat, 1,000 pounds of kosher meat can't overcome it. It's the same type. If it's the same type, it can. Only different types. Shouldn't Rabbi Yehuda learn from the Zraya that the same type, as long as you have 60 more, it's mevatel? Here, look, a Yisrael could eat a ram, even though it has kohen meat in it. So you see, the Torah is telling you, min b'mino yibatel. Gal Rachmana v'lokach midam haparu midam asar. On Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol takes the blood of a bull, a lot of blood. I forgot already how many liters and liters of this blood a bull has, and mixes it with the blood of a goat. The sar, right? The sar that we shecht. One goat goes off the cliff. The second, the partner that got the thing, stays there. The question is, shouldn't the blood of the par be mevatel? The Torah calls it the dama par damasar, as if it's still there. So you see that min b'minoi is loibatel. It doesn't disappear. It's still called damasar. It's still called the blood of the goat. They're not batel. So Rabbi Yehuda has a raya from the blood of Yom Kippur that if it's the same type of item, blood and blood, they don't become batel. And that's why he learns from there, it doesn't become batel. On the other hand, he could learn also from the Zraya v'lachayim, the Zraya and the ram. The Zraya and the ram are the same type, and they are batel. The whole ram, the whole Zraya is batel in the ram. So why does he learn from blood and not learn from the Zraya? He can learn from both. He decided to learn from blood that it's not batel. He should learn from Zraya that it is batel. Why is he learn from blood? He should learn from the Zraya. So the Gemara chidushu. This idea of Zraya, that you mevatel it lechatchila. The Torah tells us, typically speaking, if you have a piece of chaylev, a mamish, a treif, you don't tell somebody, put it in the parachon, don't worry about it. The parachon has 200 times the amount, it'll be bottled. You don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. If it fell in, after the fact, you're allowed to eat it. But you don't tell somebody, you don't tell your wife, put the chaylev in, it's bottled by 200. But the Torah is telling you, put the zroya into the same pot as the aisle, because it's going to be mevatel. So it's a chiddush. If you're not going to learn the chiddush of min b'minoi bottle, so why are you learning that 60 and 100? We said the whole concept of 60 and 100. Bottle with 60, bottle with 100 comes from the zraya. Don't learn anything from it. I'm using it just to be more machmer than right to beruba bottle. Typically speaking, in Minat Torah, 51% is enough. I don't need 60 times the amount. I need 1% more. So I'm making a chumrah and saying that you should use 60 over, so that I could learn from the Zroya Rabbi Isai. Have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDY.com.